morning, gang. Sorry about the jittery video here, but I'm driving. And I just could not wait to make a video. Okay. Several years ago, before all of this stuff was going on, and I'm talking about late 90s, 98, 99. I was working at a Dairy Queen, and I had several thoughts during that time. One of them was right after the Twin Towers episode, which happened while I was working there. I saw it on TV. So, observations, I told you I like to just sit back and watch everything. And I have several thoughts. Let me know what you think. One of my observations is, where I was from in Indiana, there was a whole lot of new construction. And I'm not talking homes, like houses, apartment complexes, okay? Also, the economy, as far as wages, started to drop really low. I think I mentioned before, my husband ended up working for a temp agency because nobody else was hiring full-time. And through the temp agency, he got the equivalent of $6.50 an hour working in a factory. Goodbye, Indiana, we said. So, try to keep up. This is exactly how my brain works. I have trouble with it, too. Well, buying things online. People have probably invested a lot of money for that to happen. And one of those things being a big corporation that starts with the letter A. And there's others. But how do we drive business towards them? Not my question, just the question I imagine somebody asking. How do we drive people towards online purchases versus the mom and pop or local stores, right? Because it's in their benefit, it's in their, for their betterment of profits and that, to not have a storefront, to not have that overhead, whatever. It would be more cost effective to have someplace and then just distribute it from there rather than open up several stores in every state. That's a no-brainer. So the question remains, how do we drive people to shop online, spend more time online, and everything else? Well, a major way is to scare them from going out. I'm one of those people that enjoys going out to the store, socializing, and there's other times I don't want anything to do with people, and I'll stay home and order online. So, the WM came up with the pickup order call, or, order it online, then go pick it up. They do the shopping for you. And there's other, food places, everything else. The basic line is to keep you at home. If you're homebound, a lot of these services would be awesome. They are awesome. Don't get me wrong. I'm not downing any services. But what would it behoove anybody if everybody was staying at home, working at home, only spending your money online? I heard a while back they just want to go to credit cards, do away with cash altogether. Well, why is that? so they can track every little penny that you make. They can just snatch your money out when you owe somebody. I don't know. I just know that if I want to pay in cash, I want to give somebody a tip or whatever. That's what I want to do. Maybe you're a person that just only pays in cash. Yeah. Ramblings in my mind, guys. Welcome to Chat and Tales with Jen. I'm Jen, obviously. I'm on my way to go swimming. Yeah, it's good stuff. Driving between the lakes now, but anyway, one thing I wanted to mention is on the highway, the speed limit's 65, sometimes 60 here. I always drive 55. Set my cruise control. I do drive one of those vehicles that normally would be a gas guzzler. It's only got a 6-cylinder, but it does. It's older. So, by driving 55 now, when I got it, I was driving up speed limit, maximum speed limit, and my gas mileage dropped down to 20. Sometimes 19 on the highway. Not good. So I started to try going 55. My husband didn't agree at first. He does now because he sees the difference. But I'm getting 5 more gallons to the mile. Or 5 miles. Yeah. So I went from 20 or 19. It was between, it would vary, 17, 18, 19, 20. And today my average is up to 25. So that's why I drive 55, y'all, on the highways. Our speed limit in town is 40, and my mileage will drop down to 19 right away. It's that stop and go or whatever. Town driving is horrible for gas. So that's my gasoline and mileage story. Don't know if it'll help anybody. No, I don't get rear-ended. I don't get honked at. I do have people that come up behind me going faster. They generally keep their distance. Some of them have even just slowed down and backed way off and drove the same speed, which I think is amazing. And some do pass, but no, I don't get yelled at or obscene gestures or honks or anything. It's pretty cool. It also helps preserve my vehicle. If I have something going out, like for instance, recently I had a bad wheel bearing. If that goes out at a high rate of speed, 65 and above, going at that amount of speed to a sudden stop, what do you think's gonna happen? And in an SUV, it's probably gonna go flip-a-doo. So, you know, I was learning how to drive. I was 16 and that speed limit was 55. I'm comfortable with that. I don't need to speed 60, 65. Well, I can get up to 60. That doesn't bother me too much. But in the wintertime, it's safer. In the summertime, I just get to enjoy the view more. It comes to mind sometimes, people driving these big pickup trucks, newer pickup trucks, and they're going 65, 70, whatever, and they go around me and then they mash the gas and go on. All I can think in my head sometimes is watching dollar signs go out their exhaust pipe. Like, I wonder how much gas money they actually spend. Yeah. So those are the thoughts in my minds, people. my mind. And let me know what you think. Are they trying to keep us in our homes? Maybe a control thing. I don't know. and masking it as, oh, we're saving resources, or, you know. To me, that would be like somebody locking me in a room and saying, well, there's a nice comfy bed, there's a TV, there's a refrigerator, there's everything you need to keep you happy, and I'll stay there. And then any excuse I could come up with, well, I want to go shopping. No, you don't have to. You can do it online. I have to go to work. Oh, no, you can do that online. And they can see everything we're doing on there. Kind of like just having somebody like guarding you 24/7, you know, 365 days a year. And hell, having a phone is about the same as putting a monitoring wrist anklet on you, isn't it? Or a collar. So I've begun leaving my phone at home. I've begun thinking about just getting a regular house phone and doing away with the cell phone altogether. As far as emergencies, fears, anything that anybody thinks nowadays, we got along without them just fine back in the day. And I know how to survive that way. I know how to handle an emergency. Yeah, there's ways we dealt then, and we can do it again. My husband will probably never give up his cell phone. He enjoys it way too much. I guess look at it this way. I can enjoy it all I want to, but too much is a bad thing. And it occupies your mind. It interferes. When something's occupying your mind so much and you're constantly thinking, where's my phone? It's kind of like back when everybody was like, oh, my cigarettes, where's my cigarettes? I gotta have my fix or whatever. I just wanted you to give up cigarette money so you could invest in your phone, or your tracking device, I should call it. But that's me. That's just random thoughts. I don't necessarily believe, like, that's the thing. Just random thoughts that go through my head. I'm always looking for the motivator. What's behind it? Why are you asking me that? I'm always questioning every little thing, every person that says something. Hey, I think you're pretty. Why do you think that? That's the way I am. I used to get teased about it when I was younger. Like, can't you just learn how to take a compliment? And I'm like, no. Another thing about me is, it started it started in my early 20s, I guess, carried on. It's still sort of there, but not as much. And this lady told me, I said, do you think I'm stubborn? Because somebody had told me I was, and I was asking my friend, am I really that stubborn? She says, JJ, let me put it to you this way. If you sat in that chair and somebody put a grenade in one hand and a stick of dynamite in the other, and you didn't want to move, you would not move. And I cracked up. I said, am I really like that? She said, oh yeah. So that can be a good thing, I guess, to be immovable on some things. I've also seen people that I knew growing up that after all these years, they still wear the exact same hairstyle and dress in the same style of clothing they used to. Are these people just set in their ways? Are they just satisfied with the way they are? They're not persuaded by other things or starstruck by, ooh, I want to try that. I think there's something to that, something I admire about never changing in those kinds of ways. I always believe in growing and learning and experiencing things. But yeah, random thoughts, you guys. Let me know. Do you ever have random thoughts? I just thought of a joke. Yeah, random thoughts of calling somebody out or something. You know, whatever people want to do. Random thoughts. I've noticed too that the views on certain YouTube videos, like when I'm just swiping through, and I watch it on my TV, and I can go video to video, and I'm not watching these videos, don't get me wrong, but at the bottom I can see how many views they have, and I started comparing those numbers, and you could have a story by, let's say, Fox News Network, and so many people just regurgitate that video. Like, they change the title of it, they clickbait, I guess you call it, when they say the video's about this, but then you watch it or start to watch it, it's the same video as somebody else posted, just with different comments on it. And here's where I get into on that. If you don't like a certain show that starts with a V, why do you keep talking about it? Why do you keep bringing it out there? You know, they always say even bad publicity is good publicity, right? Why are you spreading it? Ignore it, it'll go away. And everybody's got a point to make. The biggest point to me is God's point, and He's already made it. I can have ideas, you can have ideas, and sometimes we can have really profound ideas that can really change the world. And we can be leaders and followers and everything in between. But guard your thoughts. Keep your shield of discretion up and be careful what you take in. Because they may tell you it's a veggie burger when you're a vegetarian, but inside it's full of meat. So, and they just want to get rid of what they have. They just want you to share in what they're having for dinner, which is pretty disgusting things nowadays, what they're eating up in the news and the streets and all that. I am so glad to live where I live. There is absolutely no political talk anywhere. People have their opinions, but I can just say something about, I guess if that's going to happen, I guess Trump will have to do it. And the person will just look at me and not say a word. And then he'll change the subject or whatever. So that is a very good example of just ignore it. Don't get into it. And that's it. I can't add anything to that. It'll go away. So I'm gonna get off of here. I'm almost to town. And subscribe, like, dislike, share with your friends and enemies, and have a happy day.